I don't want to move super fast, but I want to move correctly. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like that's your method. I don't want to move super duper fast, but I want to move correctly.
I lost that business on the day of a launch party in New York.
Dang.
Then I get serious about real estate in 2013.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, so you made 13 grand off that deal.
Yeah, quick, yep. I thought it was sweet.
So what's going on? How you feeling?
What's up, baby?
All right, so I like to start things off first. I just like to give people their flowers ahead of time. One, I appreciate you. A couple things you don't even know, right? When we met at KW, what, 3-4 years ago, right?
Yeah,
4 years, 2017.
I think I transferred over there, but 2016 maybe?
Yeah, so 2017 I met you, or yeah, it had to be 2017 because that's when I went.
Okay, yeah.
March 2017 when I went to KW. But what we met then and we had a little conversation. I'm like, nobody, but you still embraced me as somebody. So one, that's first thing I appreciate, because back then, I'm gonna be honest with you, back then, I was 23 or something like that, and nobody really paid me any attention, right? And also, I didn't have no beard then, so I looked young on top of that. My first year was good. I saw like 16, 17 houses that first year, but I had
Which
to
is
work.
Excellent.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But I had to work because nobody, when I tell you nobody paid me any mind, and then the next year, like, everybody like, the hell is this dude? Like, but because I looked young and I was young, and just nobody really paid me mind. But you, Malik, a couple other people, y'all actually, yo, what's up, man? Like, before I even sold before I did anything, you guys embraced me, and I appreciate that. Another thing that I don't know if you know, you came to look at this house for me, right? This was on Roslyn Street, right at Ogance and was it Roslyn Street or Roslyn Street was first? Yeah, Roslyn Street on Ogance and like Nidro, around that, like Ogance and Godfrey, all around there where Imhotep High School is. You came and look at this property for me, and I was thinking about buying it, right? I had like 15 or 20 grand to my name. I had saved up some commission and stuff. I had 20 grand. And I was gonna go through Jumpstart, and I was like, and Malik vouched for you, was like, yo, he a good contractor, X, Y, and Z. And I knew you was building houses, but I didn't know you was doing work for other people. He said, no, Justin do all my houses and everything, and I never had to worry about anything. So I said, you know what, you mind coming out and checking his house out? And you gave me a proposal and everything, and that was like my first house ever I was trying to buy, and you were the person that. But the one thing I would say about you, you came out and you gave me the proposal, but you gave me ideas, thoughts, and like some game there. You ain't have to do that. You know what I mean? You came in, you said, look, listen, this is what I can do, but this is what you should do. Like, I don't think you should really mess with this part of the basement, but maybe you could do this. Maybe you should do this. Like, honestly, you could save this stuff, or you don't need I would get rid of it. So, and then the proposal was clean. Like, it was line by line.
Itemized breakdown,
I ain't gonna lie.
That's my thing.
I ain't gonna lie. I copied and pasted that, and I used that. That helped me. Honestly, that proposal helped me, when I got into more of the wholesale stuff, because now I knew how to evaluate how much something gonna cost. Because you like, yo, this is how much windows cost per line. You got 10 windows in the house, this times that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to all these cribs. I really was using that proposal for like 2-3 years straight. Just literally, I could pull it up right now, and I was going. So, one, I would say appreciate, because you helped me subconsciously with my future business, but then also you inspired me then to like, yo, I could really do this. Like, this is not that hard, because I was scared to death. I'm like, I don't know what the heck I was doing. But you gave me a solid proposal, and it's funny because I really wanted to use you to go ahead and fix the bottom, fix the product. I don't know if the lady passed away. I still got the keys to the house. She just disappeared. Like, we were set to close, and she just vanished. She stopped answering the phone, stopped answering nothing. But I still got the key. She only had one key to the house, and I had the key. So if that deal come back through, we can revisit it. But
we talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. But I just definitely want to give you a flower, because it was like, yo, like, you ain't really have to do none of that stuff. Especially at that point, you knew I was new. I would have called somebody else and be like, I'm not coming out to look at that house, man. Like, you not serious. It's your first one. A lot of these contractors like, yo, you got to be 5-10 houses up before I actually even think about coming out. So that was definitely love.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. But I wanted to get into you just in general. So from what I know, you buy houses,
Yeah.
you do some flips,
Yeah.
you do some rentals, and you do construction for other people. I personally know several people you did construction for, and they love the process, they love the product.
Yeah.
I think I might have sold or helped buy some houses that you did.
Yeah.
So that whole thing. Well, I want to touch into like, how did you get into? What did you do first? Like, was it construction first, or was it buying houses for flips first, or run? Like, what did you tap into first?
Yeah, so I started off really probably back in 2009, really wholesaling, right?
Word?
So my journey started with wholesaling in 2009, right?
So wait,
2009.
I don't want to cut you off, but was it because of lack of funds, or you just really wanted to get into that?
Yeah, so a mentor of mine put me on to wholesaling back in 2008, right? So I did my first wholesale transaction back in literally 2009. Only did like one deal, made a quick like $13,000.
So you ain't new to this. I've
been around for a while. So that was in 2009. But then the mortgage industry crash happened at that point. So I really just focused on my corporate career at the time, right? So I'm gonna take you through my quick journey, right?
So you had a job first.
Yeah, so I'm taking you through a quick journey of these past 10 years, right? So what happened with me was I was focused on my job from probably about 2010. I got fired in 2011, right? 2009, 2011, I got let go. September 21st, 2011, I remember that date, like it was yesterday. So what happened was prior to real estate, I had an online business.
Okay.
Yeah, so prior to real estate, I had a business similar to that of Groupon.
You was already an entrepreneur.
I was always an entrepreneur, right? But that business, it was called Frugal Deal, right? You can Google that, it's probably on the internet still, right? So I had markets open up in New York, Florida, and Philly. So this is like similar to Groupon. Everybody knows about Groupon,
right?
But I had like a weekly deal website, right? But long story short, that business crashed in about 2013.
Okay. Oh,
right?
so it had some wiggle room. It had some time, man.
Yeah, 2013. So from about 2010 to 2013, I'm pushing that business. Growing it, lose everything. Server issues. I lost that business on the day of a launch party in New York.
Dang.
Right? So, mind you, right? So you think of you having to hold your head up high. I'm traveling to New York. I get a call the midnight hour. The server crash, what have you, right? I didn't know about technology, so I had this business outsourced overseas, right? Or my technical people. So I had to hold my head high the day of the launch party, right? And knowing everything was crumbling. So I lost about 50 grand on that business. Mind you, I was a full-time entrepreneur. I got fired 2 years prior, 2.5 years prior, right? So I was faced with a decision, hey, either go back to corporate America, right, or give real estate a serious try, right? And I say serious because I got a taste of it through wholesaling, 4 years prior.
So real quick, job fired.
Job
was
job
business,
fired.
online business,
online business,
deal,
yep.
And then it was wholesale. But
no, wholesale, job fired.
Oh, so you did a wholesale deal?
Yeah, I did a wholesale deal
before the job.
Just
job. On some willy-nilly.
Yeah, willy-nilly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was trying to figure out how the heck you go from boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Out of all the things in the world. Okay, I got. All right.
Wholesale, job, fired. Online business, lose my online business, right? Then I get serious about real estate in 2013.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. So you made 13 grand off that deal.
Yeah, quick. Yep. I thought it was sweet.
That didn't spark you to keep
going.
Yeah, I want to keep this going and quit this job, because that's what everybody would do.
Yeah.
I know people that made $5 grand and quit their job and kept it pushing, making 80 grand a year.
Yeah, and this is what I tell people all the time, man. So if you look at the success I've had since 2013 now, right, versus I got that quick money in 2009, the difference was I wasn't consistent. I gave up. In 2009, I quit, right? I made that 13 grand, then I had like another 3-4 properties under contract, and then the mortgage industry in 2009, that happened. So a lot of my cash buyers, they truly weren't cash buyers.
You just gave up, basically.
Yeah, so I had these 4 deals under contract. I couldn't move them. I got discouraged, right? So that's what happens with a lot of new aspiring investors. They have one bad transaction,
And
right?
it kills everything
and
for 'em.
it gives up. I meet people all the time. They had one bad experience 10 years ago, right? They can see the journey. They can see the climb from where I came from to where I'm at now, but are paralyzed because of that one bad experience 10 years ago, right? So what I've learned over these past, 8 years of being a serious
Right.
real estate investor, because I say serious because since 2013,
No, you
I've
dug
been
in.
running ever since.
Yeah, you dug in.
Yeah, I've been running ever since.
So now, wholesale job, fired, online business, and then you went and tapped back into
The real estate.
The real estate.
Yeah.
You said, let me get this thing another shot.
Exactly.
So how?
I'll tell you that story right now.
Now, how did that? What was that first deal? How did that whole thing happen? And were you cash strapped after that loss in that business, or you still had like a couple little bit of change?
I'm about to tell you. So after I lost that bag, right? I was definitely cash strapped, right?
Okay.
So, and I was desperate at that point, right? Because I already got a taste of freedom.
Yeah.
I ain't had a job in 2 years.
You
so
like, I'm not going back.
I ain't going back, man. So I'm like, it's like, when you're already broke, it's like, what do you have to lose?
You ain't got nothing.
And that's why I tell people all the time, if you're already down, what do you have to lose, right? So I figured with me, I can only go up. And if I failed, I just go get a job. So I called up a mentor of mine, gentleman by the name of Ron. He was my old head, right? So I was like, I called him up and said, hey, Mr. Ron, I want to try to find a property. Can you help me, right? I knew he did real estate. I didn't know to what
degree,
right? So he took me for a ride to find a West Philadelphia home. My first property was on Angora Terrace. Actually, Anthony, he actually bought me the buyer for that property.
The multifamily block?
Right next door to it.
58th?
Yeah.
I sold some houses on that block. That block is
It's popping now.
Now?
Yeah.
Now? I sold a house for 150 duplex on that block.
Yeah.
That it's probably 300 now.
Yeah.
Easy. Probably no work done.
I got
to
that
it.
house for 22 grand.
Dang.
22,000 back in, I think it was December of 2013. Right? I got it for 22,000. So I didn't have enough money to both buy the property
and fix it
and rehab it. And I wasn't as savvy as I am now. I didn't know about hard money and all this other lending available back then, right? So I actually partnered on my first deal with my buddy Earl, which was also from my hometown. So we basically went 50-50 on that deal, 22-22. We were all in about 44,000. We sold that property for 93,500, right? So we both profited, net profit about 17,400 and some change.
But that was that second
Plus
taste.
it was game over after that point, right? So I got my 22 plus 17.4, right? And then the rest is history, man. I can keep going on. Then I start buying rental properties early on, 2014. And yeah, I transitioned to rental properties pretty quickly, coupled with doing more flips and so forth. Yeah.
So one thing I know about you from what you telling me, from what I see, is you got a pretty unique strategy in the midst of the only way. I don't want to say only way, but the way people make seem only. So everybody talks about BRRRR and everything. Buy, rehab, refinance, rent, and all that, or vice versa. But now you're like, no, I'm gonna buy cash, maybe buy cash again, then I'm gonna refi. Use that refi money to fund the cash, then refi. Instead of what everybody does is, which I can even say I do too, refinance, and then we look up, we got like 10 to 100 mortgages, but you're like every third house we refinance, or every fourth. How did you get into that, and why do you do that in the midst of everybody doing the opposite?
So from experience, man, I think experiences shapes and molds everybody.
From the 08 thing, 09 thing, or just?
So I'm about to tell you these experiences. So I had two gentlemen that I knew were very, very successful in real estate, very successful. And they had a lot of properties, like a lot. Like I can literally call them to this day. And one of the things that I noticed that they did, and what I learned from kind of their mistake, is they scaled very, very quickly, and they were over leveraged, right? They had a lot of mortgages, right? And
the cash flow was
the cash flow was very small. Also, they didn't have a secondary stream of income.
Just in case.
So their cash flow was small because they were over leveraged, so they had high debt, and they had that one stream of income. Their income was based off the rental income, right? So when those adjustable rates increased, or if they had vacancies, or if they had repair issues,
game over.
That a water line or something tragic happened in one of their properties, right? The mortgage people still want to be paid, right? So what happens is you foreclose, right? And then what happens when you foreclose, you're frowned upon by the bank. You can't refinance the other properties.
Downhill battle from there.
It's stuck. So that was always stuck in the back of my mind, saying a gentleman that had all this, right, and then lose it like that. Literally spoke with his wife.
Dang.
He lost a lot because he's over leveraged. So what I've learned by that is I'm fine with growing steady, steady, and I focus on the cash flow, right? I think it's very important to focus on the cash flow and not how many properties I think you should have, because to scale to that degree, it's going to come with a lot of debt. Unless you just load it, or unless your secondary stream of income is really being able to funnel a lot of it, right? So what I do, which everybody each his own, I'm a little older than you, right? I want to have a certain amount of cash flow, and the debt, my debt service, the debt I do take on, I could pay if I wanted to drive Uber, or work at McDonald's or a small job like that. My debt is very minimal on my properties. Now I do have debt, but again, I can drive Uber
about it. You can pay it off.
And pay my loans.
I like that because, like I said, in the word of everybody saying the opposite, you're like, no, I still want to keep it realistic. And Rick Ross said something on the interview. He said, I don't want to move super fast, but I want to move correctly. You know what I mean? I feel like that's your method. I don't want to move super duper fast, but I want to move correctly. And then for people that don't even know, when you're getting a mortgage on these properties and they ask for the rents, ask for the leases, if you look on the sheet, right, you look on the sheet, and it's funny because I'm about to refinance this property, and I'm actually, it's funny because I actually just having this conversation. I said, you know what, my next two, and I got a couple other closings coming up for me personally, and I'm doing them cash. So I was thinking like I'm a maybe not every 3 or 4, but maybe like every other, refi, because I feel the exact same way. But also the second part is when I looked at the refi sheet, and I've been noticed this, and it said on the sheet, it tells you what is the minimum you have to make for us to clear this deal for it to be a good deal. So basically it said you have to net profit cash flow of $280 for us to say this is a good deal. You start thinking like, so for me to do this, for me to have this property and refi, all I need to make is $280 for this to be a good deal. But we know $280, like, if
I just had a service line, I had 3 service line issues.
Exactly.
That cost me a bag of money, like 18 grand.
Exactly.
Right, because I didn't have insurance on them, right? That, you know what I mean?
Let's run up $300 times, let's say 10 months. Like, that's $3 grand right there. And you still not even at that. The number how much it costs to fix that problem. So that means you shot for a couple years. So a lot of people are like, oh crap, all right, so I can cash out 30 grand and the bank will give me 30 grand as long as I make sure I make $280. Yeah, I got 30 grand, but then you had this $18,000 problem and now you like underwater for a couple years. You know what I mean? And that's the part that people don't know and people don't understand because they look at these sheets. And then it's funny because I looked at the guy. And because the property I bought, the equity is ridiculous. Like I got it for a good price and the equity is like super ridiculous. He's like, yo, I can get you a cash out refi of $280,000. I said, bro, I don't even need that much money. Like I can utilize it, but I said, I want this to come down because I want my cash flow to be $1,500. So he's like, all right, well, if I lower this down, you only want to cash out like 70 grand. I said, I mean, that's fine. Like I got other things going on, so I don't really need the whole 300 because I don't want to be making $280 like you put on the sheet for multifamily. Like that don't even make no daggone sense.
Yeah. So one of the strategies that me and my wife, because my wife is my support and that's my partner.
I want to talk about that too, because that's dope.
Yeah, my wife. So we like to. It comes down with discipline, because I ain't gonna lie, it comes the way we live our lifestyle.
It's a long game.
Yeah, we're very conservative with our lifestyle. How we like in our mind, right? My wife has a consultant job. She does very well for herself. My business is my construction company, right? But we base our lifestyle off of 50% of our rental income, right? So everything can be paid off of 50% of our rent roll, right? So that,
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just heard something. 50% of the rent.
Of the rent.
Not the job.
Not the
Not the
job.
business.
Of the rent
not the
roll.
flips. Of the rent.
We base our
That's
lifestyle
discipline.
off of that.
That's discipline.
Yeah. So it definitely discipline, right?
That's discipline. You got that one. That's discipline.
Yeah.
I like it though.
Yeah. 50%. And the reason why we do that, right, is one, I'm conservative, and things can happen. You have tenants that may not want to pay. We've been blessed not to have, even in the pandemic, vacancies. I think we might have had like one, right?
That's good.
Or Airbnb when everything happened. So we've been blessed in that degree. But that also allows a lot of disposable income to do other things for. To diversify our investments. To do when I say to be able to buy houses the way we do, right? And again, for every 3 houses that we buy, it might be 1 mortgage, 2 free and clear, right? But again, we buy houses. My all-in might be between acquisition and rehab $70,000. I'm not going to spend $250,000 cash on a house, right? That's going to be debt, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm buying, all-in $70,000, we can muscle that up.
And I like that because, like you said, I'm not going to spend $250,000 on the house, right?
No.
But a lot of these guys, right, which I can even say myself, I've done deals where acquisition was like $200,000, but on the back end it's worth like $600,000, whatever. So in the light is a good deal, but I like it. But like it says, debt. Like I didn't give them $200,000 cash, right? So, but your strategy is like, you know what? I'm gonna buy them a little cheaper. Now it's like, okay, let's say for me, for example, I bought a house for $200,000. It's worth $600,000. I put 50, 100 in, so I'm all in 3. I have a loan for $300,000, right? Maybe take a little extra on top, maybe close to 400. So I got a $600,000 property, but technically net worth is $200,000, right? So which I'm growing, so I'm fine with that, right? At this moment. But you're like, you know what? I'm gonna buy these houses a little cheaper, and technically, my net worth between 2 houses is worth over yours because my strategy a little different. And I think, and I'm bringing that all together because a lot of guys, they're like, yo, I want to get these big houses, these big properties, these big projects. That's $1 million projects, but the loan is $900,000. So technically, you're not really a millionaire in this per se because your net worth is 100 for each house, for each of these $1 million projects. When you like, I got 5 that's worth 200,000, but it's 200 clear. Like that's all me. I like that. So you're going.
It's smart.
Yeah, you're going smaller, but making a bigger impact.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
And if you wanted to, you could pull out if worst case scenario.
Any given point.
You can have that cash, pull it right out.
But here's the thing. You want to focus in business, period. Whether it's real estate, you're running a t-shirt business, focus on the net number. The gross is irrelevant. The net number is the only number that matters, the net income number. Even if you're grossing $10 million a year, but if you have 990, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's about the net number. So it's the gross minus the expenses equals your profit. The net number is all that matters. Whether you have, a mortgage on it, whether you're operating any business, focus on the net number, right? What's the point in, having a rental property that, let's say, your mortgage is $1,000, your mortgage is $1,000, but you're getting $1,100 in rent. Yeah, I mean,
at any
it doesn't
given
make,
moment,
it doesn't make any
the
sense.
daggone vanity got to get changed. You already shot.
Yeah, so you want to focus always on the net number, man. Well, like when you're evaluating any business, anything, man, the net number is all that matters, period.
And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you today because, you know, we've talked in the past several times, but I want to have this conversation on this platform because people need to hear that, you know, and like I said, in this day and age, there's a lot of people that talk about, you know, leverage or mortgage, which it works, like you said, if you have a super strategy, you have other income coming in, you have other moves. And a lot of the guys I know that over leverage, they're taking it to go ahead and push to maybe 100-unit building. At that point, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But for some people, that's like, you know, just over leveraging nonstop.
Those people are leveraging up.
Yeah, they're flipping up.
They're leveraging up. I understand. Like me, for me to get to the next level, right? If I wanted to start
pull some
building, I'm gonna have to liquidate some of my single family that don't have mortgages for a down payment to leverage up.
To go ahead and
There's
drop
nothing
that.
wrong with that, but you want to be mindful, right? You don't want to get too focused on, hey, you know, you want all these doors where they're not producing enough income for you.
Right.
You know, and I say that all the time. Cash flow is greater than units, right? Cash flow is greater than units. The cash flow is all that matters.
I gotta write that down. Cash flow is greater than units because in this day and age, it's units, but nobody talk about the cash flow.
Cash flow is all that matters.
Nobody talks about the cash flow. I like, some people do. I don't want to disrespect anybody, but some people do. But a lot of people, they're talking about the units and doors and things like that, but nobody really brings up that word cash flow. And for younger, I don't want to say younger people, more unexperienced people, they're like, y'all want to get these doors up by any means. You know what an older guy told me before?
Yeah, I see that mistake all the time.
Older guy told me before, I was about to buy this property off him, and it ended up having a crazy lien on it, and it had a restriction on it, right? So the deal ended up didn't go through, but one thing he told me that I remember when we were walking through the property, and he said, y'all young guys funny these days. I'm like, you talking about? He said, y'all buy houses just to buy them. I was like, what you talking about? Like, I mean, we buy houses, ain't what we supposed to be doing? He said, nah, man, y'all not even making no money. I said, what you mean? He said, y'all buying all these houses just to say y'all buy them, just to post them online, just to go ahead and tell your friends and family you own a house. But he said, none of y'all making no money. And it hit me for a second, like, one, I make sure I'm making money. But one thing, I started flashing all these people I know or all these people that DM me or hit me up and just like, yo, I just want to buy a house just to say I bought it. Like, none of the conversation is about, yo, how much does it cost? What's the rehab? How much is it going to fix? I just want to own something, which is a good starting point for the culture, for that conversation, because now we're shifting, but we still need to have that back end conversation. Like, it's great that everybody want to own stuff because that is good. Ownership is key, but we still need to have that back end conversation. Like, okay, you own it, but what is life after every day after you own that? Like, are you making money, or are you literally just saying I own a piece of something? And that's what he said to me, and I was like, dang, that's real.
And you know what? Another thing that me and my wife, we talk about, like when we pass down this portfolio, we want to pass it down to my daughter, you know, or we have more kids. Our daughter, right now, they have one child, free and clear. Like, she's not going to have to worry about the taxes. You know what I mean? So I'm mindful of the debt that we take on. You know, I don't want to pass her down all these properties and then it could be accountant nightmare, right? To managing all these, you know, all this debt, all these mortgages and stuff. So we're mindful of that, right? So I mean, it works for us.
You think, everything works for everybody. Different.
Everybody has a different. Everybody has their strategy.
That's a good thing, like you said. That's a good thing about real estate.
That's a beautiful thing about real estate.
Everybody has, but I like your strategy, and I think that needs to be emphasized more in the world, especially in the community, because with especially for people in the community, especially our community, people that might not see this lump sum of money at one time like that. Like, some people never even seen 10 grand at one time, like, let alone the bank telling you, like, I can cash you out $50,000 to $100,000. Like, people need the discipline to say, no, I'm cool. Like I said, the bank was trying to give me 300 grand for one house. No, I'm cool because I know every day after that, I'm only making $298. Like, that doesn't make no damn sense. So I think it goes back to, like, discipline of saying, all right, that's a lot of money. That's more money I've ever seen in my life at one time. You know, like I said, some people never seen 20 grand at one time, but my cash flow is gonna be bad. So you know what? I want to be able to keep more of my $1,000 a month from my rent instead of having this lump sum, because I don't have another move to go up. Like we said, we flipping up, we leveraging up. But a lot of people don't have those opportunities at this moment. So we need to start thinking and be mindful, like I said. So I really appreciate your strategy. So what I want to, so we got the rental properties, we got that stuff, we building that up, right? But my question is, how did you transition, or when did you transition to like, all right, doing projects for myself is cool, but when I'm gonna help a couple people out.
Yeah, so I transitioned that early on, right?
Okay.
So my first renovation, come to find out, it took a little bit longer than I thought. I probably paid a little bit too much, right? And I saw what was going on in that project, right? I was like, man, I can do this. And just managing people, right? So, you know, just manage people. So quickly, I started to form my own construction company because I thought I could do it better, more efficient, faster, better quality, and it worked out, right? So I started initially I just started to do my own projects, my flips, and I would raise private capital. Again, I didn't know about hard money lenders, so I was doing flips and leveraging private capital, and then I'm also buying rentals, right? So I was using other people's money to help me on my
I get
flips.
a couple thousand, I'll give you a return.
Exactly. I was giving them high rates of return. If I tell you my rate of returns, I'll give them, you probably think I was crazy, dude. But the profit
15%?
margins, dude, I'm embarrassed to even say. I was giving like 30% returns, yo.
Dang.
30%. But
I'll be giving you money all day.
All day. But I was making so much money. I'm buying a house for 18. I'm putting maybe 40 into it. I'm selling for $1.15.
Oh yeah, that's a little spread, and that probably didn't even take you that long. 40 grand probably didn't take you long at all.
8 weeks in and out of them houses, right? So from start to finish, in and out, 4 months to sell the property, right? So I'm getting good returns early on. This is back 2016, 2017, right? The values aren't what they were back then, right? They're a lot cheaper. Right? You can buy properties $20,000 left and right back then, right? So I did that. And I was just doing work for myself. Then people start liking my work. So I did a website, and start taking on other jobs, right?
Clients and stuff.
And actually, Malik, my homie, he introduced his international clients to me.
I remember he was telling me about them. That relationship was decent.
Yeah, so Malik had, these international clients. And they want a reputable contractor. And so one of the things that separates me from others I come from, corporate background. It's just a different level of professionalism I'm bringing to that industry.
You're not anybody.
Right? Yeah. And I understand from an investor aspect because I invest.
Exactly. You're not anybody.
Yeah. So investment, a little bit more polished, professional, or whatever case you want to say. And I created a nice systems. So me and my crew, we can get through about 4 projects in about 10 weeks.
I like that. So 2 things. One, you did 2 or 3. I just want to play it safe and said 2. You did 2 of my people's projects, and it came out nice. 3 might be 4 actually. You did one of my friends, 2 of his duplexes. You did one of my friends. You redid like their whole first floor in their kitchen. And one other person, I don't even know where their house is at, but you did a couple projects. And they all good. So another thing is, I like how, and you told me this one time, and you said, look, if you want to use me, let me know now, because I'm on 3 projects right now and I'm only doing 1 more. And I'm like, who says that? Everybody just like,
yes, yeah.
Bring me the job. You said, look, I'm doing 3 right now. I really don't want to take in 4, but this is something I can manage, but that's it. And then you have to wait, 3 months for me to complete this, and then I can take it on. Everybody just takes on everything.
Yeah, so what I've learned, one, when I was working with Malik's clients, man, I was getting business, and I'm chasing that money. I'm trying to do like 6-7 projects, and I was getting burnt out. So between their projects and cause I want to keep growing my own portfolio also.
Do your thing.
And I was like, man, I can't do that. I'm killing myself, getting home, 9 o'clock at night, burning myself out. So what I found the right balance, and which I'm still earning a good living, and also growing my portfolio and can manage it, is that 3 to 4 projects. So I like to do that, every quarter. Then I start turning clients down.
Okay.
To the next quarter. So that's has worked for me.
That's good. So with these subs, are they like, and I don't want to say like this, are these like non-independent subs? Or are you bringing in some independent contractor guys, like guys that already had their own brand, let's say like an HVAC company, you bringing them on? Or are you bringing in guys that's raw, no brand, and it's just your team?
Yeah.
Or do you hire out, like say somebody listening like, yo, listen, I do HVAC. I don't mind giving you a discount if we can work together, subbing out.
Yeah, absolutely. So my core group I've been with since 2014. And my core group could be my tile guy, my carpenter. I've been with my same sheetrock guys for a few years as well. But my subs could be like my HVAC. I try to use the same HVAC person.
Okay.
I know you know Ben. He's one of them. And
Ben Southman.
Yeah, I've used Ben and another. So I have like 2, and I believe you should have 2 of every trade.
Okay.
Just in case Ben gets busy, I got my other guy. Or if he's busy,
I don't even think we know each other too.
Yeah. So he knows now. He's going to know now.
Yeah, right.
All right. But shout out to Ben. But he had a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah.
But scary.
Yeah, man. Serious.
But I think you should have 2 of every trade. So I got my main plumber. Only got one electrician. A roofer. So. But it's the same people I'm using, so they know how I work. It's just
symbiotic.
Yeah. So the way I'm able to get through so many projects is just a system. So as let's say we're doing demo in this house, I might be doing framing on another one. I might be doing sheetrock. So I stagger the job, so it allows me to, when the framers are done, I bring in the other trades. Switch swap, and just like the system, man.
But I like that you're open to bringing on people that already have their own name, their own brand.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like some guys, they're when they say in-house, it's super in-house. Like they might got guys coming in from, from wherever, and you don't even know that they don't even have a name. Like it's just simply just them, or like some guys from Home Depot outside, and they just built the whole crew.
Yeah.
Like you bringing in some people that got their own business, but you bringing it on. So hey, look, listen, I know you got your own thing, but you can come on in. That way we all can like eat, instead of just like you got this one set of people that's just yours. Yeah, I like that.
Yep. So I mean, because I think your trades,
trades,
really important. Your plumbers, like electrician, I don't play the games with that. So even if I'm trying a new person, I'm really on them to see, make sure they know what they're doing.
Seeing how everything's set up.
Hire slow, fire fast type of thing.
Hire slow, fire fast. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So now you building up, you doing the construction business, and that's going pretty good. You still keeping the same system, 4 projects at a time. What is there a minimum, like on projects you do, like pretty much as long as it makes sense, or as long as they're willing to work with you?
Yeah, the only thing I tell people I don't do right now is new construction.
Okay.
So
so somebody want a bathroom renovation, like you.
Yeah, if it has 4 walls, top to bottom, I can just do a full rehab in and out very quickly.
Okay.
Right? Fully licensed and insured. I just don't build from the ground up.
Okay.
That's the only thing I have not done.
Is there something you want to get into, or?
I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
I think I'll probably get into your model.
I'll probably get into it for myself personally.
Oh yeah.
When I do that in terms of new development. Yeah.
Would that go against your model? Because if you're doing new construction to build, and don't quote me on it, I'm actually doing my first new construction project right now.
Okay. And
the build can be $200,000+, which will be a loan.
Yeah.
And then the purchase price could be, anywhere for the land. But like I said, now that's $200,000 loan on just a rehab. Would that something you still want to? Because I know you got your specific model.
Yeah, I mean, and I am fully understand if I'm going to go that route, I gotta take
You got it.
I ain't out here dishing $300,000-400,000 cash. I ain't doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at that point, I would be taking on debt if I go that route.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. So if I'm all in again, $400,000, and that thing is appraising at $1 million, that ain't crazy. It's basic math.
And especially if you're flipping it, it's like, who cares?
So there's nothing wrong with if debt. The problem is you have to have manageable debt. And that's the issue with a lot of people. They take on debt, but it's not manageable, right? They take on debt and they have no other stream of income, right? They take on debt and don't have no cash flow. That's the issue. They don't have manageable debt. So if they have, 5, 6 vacancies, they out the game.
So, man, I got a question for you, right? You buying one house, you mortgaging one house. Is that one house a sacrifice? Yeah. So are you over leveraging that one house to pay for the rest, or are you still making sure you got decent cash flow?
So it depends on the house and depends on what I have in the savings at that point, right? So let's say the first house may be the house where I may leverage, right, and that will pay for the other 2 houses coupled with my own cash, right?
Okay.
So something like that.
It depends. It depends. It just came across my mind. Like, I wonder if he's sacrificing this one house. Like, yo, I'm not making any money off of it, but that opened up the door.
That one house is still going to cash flow.
I know people that do stuff like that. Yeah. They're like, yo, look, listen. These next 3 moves I'm gonna make are gonna be some power moves. I'm gonna sacrifice this. I'm talking. I'm not cash flowing. I'm cash flowing $100, but it's going to open up the door for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th property.
Oh no, I ain't doing that. So to give you an example, the last 3 I just did, right? Acquisition price 30, appraisal 185. Okay. All in 90. Okay. So that's 95,000 in equity, right? I initially did a short-term loan on that. Okay. Right. Initially did a short-term loan on that. 12 hard money loan just for the construction loan. Right. So I took out.
So you bought it cash and then just got the loan.
I took out the 30 cash. Right. The 60,000. Right. And used some of that money coupled with my own cash to renovate that house and also buy 2 more houses. Right? Okay. The other 2 houses I got for $12,000 and $19,500. Another one for $15,000. So actually 4 houses. Okay. Right. 30, 12, 15, $19,500. So it's about 4 houses. So between those 4 houses, we have a mortgage on one. The other 3 actually, we were able to muscle up between, refi money and using our own capital. Right.
So that's okay. I like that. So for somebody just getting started, right? And how would young guy, young girl getting in and they like, look, listen, I want to get started. Yep. What would you recommend for them? They want to get strictly into investing. They don't want to go ahead and do construction and all. They want to get into investing. How would you say for them to get started? And you just said something that I think is a good method, and let me know what your opinion on it. Because I personally did this. Buy the house cash, X hard money for the construction numbers. Because what I come to realize is, they don't give you no headache, no problem.
I saw you posted that. You just did it. You just did it like that.
Be honest with you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I did one with my partner and one with myself. I did 2 deals where the purchase price and the rehab was all in one loan. All my other stuff, like all the other properties, lots and all that stuff, I'm buying them cash. And then, so I'm dishing out some money on the front end. But now when I call a hard money, they're like, oh, you can just have it. But when you asking in the game. When you asking for money to buy it and asking for money to fix up, they like, let me see this document, let me do this, let me run these numbers. They taking 2-3 days to run numbers. But when I say I just need construction, they like, you want it today? And so for me, if you can, or if you get a credit card to buy, like you get a $20,000 credit card and you don't have $20,000 cash, buy the house cash and then just get the construction number. That's just my opinion, but let me know what you think.
So one of the things, I'm not that familiar with the credit card. I don't mess with that, but I don't mess with that.
That's the 2021.
You gotta sit me down for that, right? I'm still old school, right? But one of the things that has worked for me, right? I have a saying when I talk to people: become your own bank. Become the bank. And what I mean by that is, me and my wife were very strategic about what properties we actually bought and actually in our personal name. Okay, strategic about that. And I'll tell you the reason why. We leveraged some of those properties.
Some is in your personal name.
Some of them strategically.
I want to hear this.
Right? Yeah. And reason being, because we got a home equity line of credit on them. Okay. So it's a difference between a cash out refi and a home equity line of credit. Right? So if I'm asking for $250,000 for a cash out refi, they're cutting me that check for that $250,000. But if I'm doing a home equity line of credit, and let's say I only need to use $50,000 to make a quick move on that house, right? That's a revolving door, where I can use that 50. I'm only paying the interest on the 50 rather than the 250, right? And now this is where, if you're a new investor, how you can really scale if you want to leverage that, right? Then you would have an LLC, right? And then if you want to pay back that 50, you have your LLC. Then you would do a cash out refi. Don't go for high LTV. You pay back the 50. Remember, you still got 250,000. It's a revolving door. At that point, you don't even need a hard money lender, right? Because you can ultimately do the cash out refis, pay back the the home equity line of credit, and at 250, you're using that over and over again to scale up.
I like that. So boom, you go ahead and make that one house. Like some people make their houses their retirement plan. I'm gonna buy this house, fix it up, and when I turn 50, 60, I'm gonna cash this house in to pay my life from there on. You like, no, I'm gonna use this house as Chase Bank right now. For me personally, I got my own Chase Bank, maybe two of them. I got two Chase Banks right here on Main Street, my own block. So now you just go ahead and like, let me go walk down to my bank, pull out 50 grand, and then go finance this deal, and then go make sure I pay the bank, my bank, Just Bank, and pay it right back. I like that. I like that. Nobody's saying that line of credit stuff. Everybody talking about like pull that whole thing out and then go ahead and make a move. But you like, you know what, I'm going to keep.
Because here's the thing. I like to have my money working for me. If I did a cash out refi, I'm paying interest on that $250,000. Right? The bank is getting that, and the money's not working for me. It's just sitting in my account. Versus the available line of credit, you're not paying interest. And if I need to use 50 or 70, you can move quick. You understand?
But wait, here's my question though. Does if someone put a hard money loan in a house to fix it up, right? So let's say someone, to purchase. So let's say you went and did a deal, right? And it was the purchase price was $50,000 and the rehab was $50,000. You finished that whole thing, but the house is worth $250. Let's just say you had $250 number you said. So you all in $100. You owe the hard money lender $100,000, right? Let's just say it was no down payment. Let's just say rent whole number is $100,000. Can you still do a home equity line of credit if you already have debt on the house, or is only for free and clear houses?
You still could do a home equity line of credit on that house.
So
you would use that line of credit to pay the hard money lender.
And then there you only got 150 of a revolving door. And you got to pay interest on 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it still 80% LTV, or you can go ahead and
it depends.
Or 70%.
But what I've saw, and I learned this from experience. A home equity line of credits, the banks like you to be the personal guarantor.
Yeah.
So right, the personal guarantor on that. So if you was holding that property in an LLC, it's a little bit more difficult, right? But if you're doing again a business loan, you definitely need to have an LLC. If you're doing a hard money loan. So the strategy has worked for us because we would buy the properties cash. So we're all in our own cash, intentionally knowing that this property is going to be worth a lot of money, and we were going to use that as a home equity line of credit. We intentionally did that.
Nobody talks about this.
Yeah.
I don't own anything in my personal name. Now you got me thinking like, let me sacrifice my name and buy something in my name.
Now I don't say you don't do a lot, but
you want strategic buy.
You can do 3, game over. If you have 3 properties that could let's say appraised for, let's just say $200,000, right? And let's say you want to get, let's just use basic math, 150,000, or 100,000 with each. That's 300 to 450,000 available line of credit you could have on those 3 properties. Why would you at any point always need a hard money lender if you got damn near $500,000
right
at your disposal like that?
10 years you picked up a lot of game. You said from 10, this is a decade you've been, since you quit your job and jumping into. So that's I like that. I like that because everybody says, refi, put it in your business name, refi, take the lump sum and just sit on it until you ready to make another move. But you paying interest on that whole while it's sitting in your pocket until something falls out of there, something comes up. Hopefully you have something lined up, but every day things don't always just happen like that. You don't always have something ready back to back to back, especially if you're not like actively looking for deals. So now you're just waiting for something to come about. So now I want to. You said something early on in the midst of things, which I knew about slightly, but you said Airbnb. And the year you said you threw in that Airbnb word was not 2020, not 2019. Like, this was some years ago. So you been.
Man, you got a good memory, man.
I pay attention. I pay attention.
Yeah.
So you
I'll tell you a funny story about that. Yeah, good, man.
You ain't new to this stuff. Like,
Not at all, brother.
or even into the things that's new to the world, quote unquote, you already been tapped in. Like, Airbnb is something people have been talking about for the last 2-3 years, but that year you threw that in wasn't no 2020, it wasn't no 2019. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my Airbnb, mind you, when I started seriously doing real estate in 2013.
I was thinking about Airbnb, one of your places.
One of my places?
Yeah, you had a place for rent, and
Probably the condo or that was
South Philly. The
that's my commercial mixed use joint.
Yeah, I was thinking about Airbnb in it. Remember, I called this. You don't even remember probably. I called you. I ended up doing Airbnb, and I was like, you know what? All my places are already rented. I got tenants, so I'm like, you know what? He got a place in South Philly, and it's new, and I know his rehabs be clean. I said, you know what? Maybe this might be good. Maybe I'll talk to you and see if we could sublease it and set it up. And you gave me the lockbox codes. I checked it out, and then I thought about it. The only reason I changed my mind, I thought about it. I ended up doing an Airbnb closer to where my property's at, and closer to where I live. Cause like, dang, turnover, South Philly, like, you know, just in case my cleaner can't make it out, like, that's a little hike for me. So that's the only reason why I didn't finish that convo with you. Yeah.
So the funny thing about my Airbnb journey, it started. Actually, a friend put me onto it back in 2012, 2013. I started doing the Airbnb.
That's like 8 years ago.
Yeah, about 2013,
Dang.
2012, 2013. And it was my primary home. So when I lost that bag of money in my online business, I'm broke. Then I spent, damn near my last at $22,000 on that first deal in 2013. I need to have money to pay my mortgage. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job, right? I didn't have.
Because you was knee deep.
I was all in. It's either go broke or I'm gonna make it. Yeah, man. I'm going broke or I'm gonna make it.
Right.
Rich or poor, right? So I used to Airbnb my house, my whole entire house, and stay with friends. It will be times I even slept in my properties I would renovate. I had one of those blow up air mattresses. I was literally sleeping in my properties.
You was like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Airbnb, yeah. I used to Airbnb my primary home, and I tell a funny story. When I met my wife, I was embarrassed. I didn't want nobody to know I was sleeping in these those homes. I used to be like, oh, I'm just gonna stay here, like I'm just working, just tired. You know what I mean? But I'm renting my house out to strangers.
I mean, in a way.
Strangers, yo. People thought I was weird, man. Like,
I mean, in a way, like, your name is still in all these houses. So in a way, it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm doing that, but I still own them.
Yeah,
I got options. So but I get what you're saying.
I was starting off.
Yeah,
but I was doing it out of necessity.
Out of necessity, yeah. I see what you're saying.
I needed to pay my mortgage, so I would make anywhere, bro, from some $1,000 to $2,500 a month.
What was your mortgage?
Airbnb, $800. Yeah,
that's a nice little big piece of change, little cash.
So so it was just covering. But again, I'm renting my house out primarily on the weekends. It'll be sometimes I would rent that thing out 20 days straight, man, and stay with friends and things of that nature. Couch surf.
Do you still have that house?
Yeah.
Okay, but you moved somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
still own that house. It's a full-term tenant in there now, though.
Okay. How many Airbnbs did you end up doing, or you just kept it just at the one?
At that point, it was just the one.
Okay. Did you move up to more Airbnbs?
We got up to probably about 3.
Okay.
Right now, I think we're only doing 1 right now, though.
Okay.
Like the mixed use one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one that I was just talking about.
Yeah.
I knew it was a good idea. I knew that was a good idea. How that's working out?
Man, whole year paid up front for Airbnb.
I knew it was a good idea. The only reason I didn't do it, I guess everything works out.
That thing rocks, man.
I guess everything works out God's plan, because if I would have jumped on it or whatever, I would have been pissed about driving back and forth, and then you wouldn't have had the opportunity to go ahead and do it, because I would have been your tenant. Yep. So everything works out in how it's supposed to. But that's decent though. Yeah. That's decent though. I knew I had the eye. I'm like, yo, this is a good spot. When I checked it out,
Airbnb is good, man.
Yo, one thing, and people not going to really know what I mean, but I just want to personally ask you, you do your steps a little differently, right? And
you talking about the railings or the steps?
the railings.
Okay.
The railings. So, like for people that's watching, like everybody, like I got my iron railings getting installed right now. Like the guy's on his way. We do like iron railings and then the iron ballast. What do you call it? The lines
I don't give shouts to my man Teddy in Atlanta. Teddy, he's gonna put me onto it. So
you do like barbed wire in between instead of the actual railing.
Yeah, my man Teddy.
But that's hot though.
Yeah, he put me onto that. My man Teddy. So shouts to him. So I think I seen one of his renovations he did in Atlanta, and I was like, yo, that joint is hot. I was like, so I was like, how you do that joint? So basically, it's conduit. it's all it is conduit with 2x4s and a 4x4, and that's it.
So you saving crazy money.
Crazy money.
You saving crazy money.
It's flavorful.
Them railings can cost.
Yeah.
So
So instead of paying $2,000, $2,500,
exactly,
that material might cost me $300.
And the install is not hard at all. It's not. So when you putting the rail in there, you like tightening it with like a wrench or something?
So you need to like cut out the holes, and then your carpenter needs to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I've done it so many times, it's easy. But you just drill out the holes.
Okay.
Take like a hole saw, maybe like a 1-inch hole saw, and just put it into the 2x4s.
I might borrow that from you.
Yeah.
I might borrow.
You save money. It's nice. It's a nice look.
Yeah.
That industrial feel.
I like that. What I just did now was I built the wall out, so now we don't need the railing because the wall. I mean, we need the one piece, but we don't have to worry about the whole thing.
Yeah. Your rehabs look good too, man.
I think
you
they
came
say
a long way, man.
They say I do too much now. Like I make them too nice, but my idea of it is like an extra. Let's say, for example, you spend. Let's just use a funny number. Let's say you spend $500 on tile. I spend $7. Like extra $200, but it's like Egyptian marble looking type of thing.
Yeah.
Like who? And I go to Floor and Decor. I get the stuff on clearance, like stuff like that. But that's basically how I set up. So one last thing, I don't hold you up too much. You said something else, which I've been noticed is you and your wife are like a team.
Absolutely.
You're solid. Y'all buying properties together. Y'all building stuff together. Just one. I don't want to go too deep into it, but one quick gem or like thought for like young men out here, because especially dealing with like celebrities and stuff, they always saying like basically be single, or like you build it up on your own, or just basically going against the wife whole marriage thing, or doing business with your wife. There's a couple people out there talk about like how you guys are set up, but not a lot. What's one tip you could give, or one hack, or one thought for people that's out here like, nah, I don't want to get married, or I don't want to do business with my wife or my girlfriend or whatever?
Yeah, you have to make sure your partner has the right mindset.
Okay.
Right. So even when me and my wife were dating, she was always, frugal with her money, but she just wasn't on investing. She didn't know about investing. She would make a good amount of money in corporate America, and
just save it.
Yeah, save it. So you gotta start having those conversations during the dating phase, right? Okay. So, I mean, when I met her, she was up. Mind you, I'm sleeping in the bandos.
Right.
You feel me? Like she up.
Your house is all your money's in the brick.
Yeah, I'm broke, bro. I'm up here. I make a joke. I'm up here going to the casino to gamble so I can take her on dates. Because date night, man, I'm spending $150 with her. You see what I'm saying? So, so you have to make sure when you're dating, you guys are on the same page with the finances. Talk about your vision. You got to make sure your partner buys into your vision, right? So early on, I laid it out. Like, imagine a life where we didn't have to touch our paychecks to pay any bills, right? So
that sparks
foreign. Like, what do you mean? Like, of course, I work to pay bills.
Right.
I was like, no. Imagine a life where you didn't have to work to pay your bills. So that money that you made, you could, if you want, save or do whatever you want, right? Having assets, cash flow producing assets, whether it's a business, stocks, real estate, pay for your lifestyle, right? So once if you are young out there and you're, a significant other, because marriage is not everything. You don't have to be married, right?
Right.
But I think you have to have the right unit, the right partner, the right teammate, right? Okay. And all have the same mission to accomplish that goal. Right, so just make sure if you're a young person having, the person you're talking to, have those conversations early on, right? Because that support system is going to be crucial Like I know you're young and married, bro. Like that support system. Like if you're if your wife wasn't probably letting you do this right now or be you don't want to come home to that stress.
Yeah, I wouldn't come home.
Yeah, you want to come home. So you got her buying early. She believes in you, and that's going to keep you going to the next level. And anybody can do that. You know?
Also, I would say it helps with, identifying what's necessary and not necessary. Because let's say you come home and you thinking about doing something that's unnecessary. That person can take that's not really needed. You know what I mean? That's not really necessary. You don't have to go and do that because, I'll be honest, I'm pretty disciplined with money. But every now and then you might go ahead and do something that's let's say for example, I like to go like Miami. That's like my thing.
Yeah.
So I might go to Miami and I might get like a car that's like $1,500 a day or something. She's is that really even necessary? All right, I'm not gonna tell you not to do that, but what about the cars that's $500 a day? The Rolls Royce is cool, but the Corvette is just as nice. And I'm like, all right, you right. And then you do stuff like that. So I think just even having that person in your ear, yo, calm down.
It gives you that balance.
Yeah, calm down.
It gives you that balance. Yeah.
So this was good. I like this kind. When we talk, it's always good, it's always solid. But I definitely, you made me think about some stuff that I never even thought about, as far as just leveraging a different way. You know what I mean? Leveraging a way of keeping a revolving door and just not just maxing out on everything, but do it strategically. So definitely blessings to you, appreciate you, and then hopefully, like you said, that new construction, you jump into that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I definitely want to see you go to, because you already mastered your craft 1,000%.
Yeah. I know that's the next. I know me and my Malik, we always talk about that. He be trying to push me. I'm like,
he said he ready. He said he want to go.
Yeah. I know he going to do the next. Yeah. So we'll see.
All right, I'll be having lots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually, the guy just texted me right now and said when we good to close. That's something I was going to keep, but I mean, we have a conversation.
Okay, we don't talk about that.
It's a good deal. That's all I'm keep, but we can have a conversation.
Okay. All right.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Keep doing your thing, baby. No doubt.